Yes.
Bob, 4 years ago, during a presidential campaign year, another group had a slate that was presented before the body of the state convention. We were told at the time there was a method of amending it, which the body proceeded to do. At which point there was a hasty motion to suspend debate. It was crammed through. Reasonable people could disagree on how the voice vote went, but the chair completely ignored calls for division. Are you prepared for something like that?
Well, I hope so, and I won't be alone, fortunately. I think there are many of you in this group that support me.
Jim, are you
we can hope that the chair and parliamentarian will act in the best interest of the party. That would certainly be the objective, I think, of anyone going forward. And everything is subject to parliamentary rules. At that particular convention, I personally tried to amend the slate to include Leon Mosley, who is state co-chair. I know there were divisions there. I'm bringing this up now because I think it is my personal conviction, and I think it's my duty. So we're prepared for to be the best advocates we can. Yes, sir.
I was precinct chair this year for the first time, and my opinion of the straw poll is pretty much, I mean, they say, hey, we'll feed you, we'll ship you there, we'll do all this kind of stuff, and it's, it's a meeting kind of thing.
It's a fundraiser, I agree.
Right. So, for us not to have our delegates to look similar to our caucus result, I think is pathetic. And we need to do something.
I'm 100% agreeing with your point, and that's why I'm here speaking with you tonight.
They're both straw polls.
That's my opinion as well. Thank you. There was a gentleman over here and a gentleman back here. Whoever is first. Yes.
Yes.
I will never vote for Romney.
Yes, sir.
My name is Craig Seeley from Precinct 20, and I just wonder what goes on Friday night at the state convention is actually representative of the voters. And secondly, what was this robocall that we got just before the district convention saying that what does go on Friday night at the state convention is corrupt? Now, how much have we looked at the perception of what goes on Friday night, and can it be labeled as corrupt or even perceived as corrupt? And if it is in any way, should we eliminate it and do that process during the state convention?
Keith, I'll try to answer all points of your question. If I miss anything, ask that point. Number one, the state convention is structured to be two parts. One part Friday night, which has to be by current rule elected or accomplished Friday night, and that is where 3 delegates and 3 alternates are elected from each congressional district in the state. The key is being there for that. And if you are there, meaning all of us, and taking your responsibilities seriously to do what this gentleman's question asked us to do, which is to be representative of our party as a whole and the voters as a whole, then hopefully a balanced slate will prevail. But you need to ask who these people are supporting, and you need to be clear in that process as you prepare to vote Friday night that you send a balanced delegation. Secondly, on Saturday, there again is part 2. That is the part that is proposed by the nominating committee, which 2 members were elected from each congressional district, just as there were 2 members of rules, 2 members of platform, and and 2 members of credentials. All right. So it is key that in that vote on Saturday, in my opinion, that you look for a balanced unity slate. And that slate will take form so that you can examine it well before the convention itself. And I believe, for the reasons that have been stated earlier, that the report of the nominating committee should be rejected. Did that answer your question, sir?
Well, what was that robocall all about?
I don't know, sir. I have not received that call, and I have no knowledge of it. I'm sorry. I thought there was one additional hand. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, yes. Yes.
I guess what you're saying is that there's nothing really in the rules that says that the candidate that Iowa selected as a majority will be selected in the convention, because we always elect delegates. And is this a lot of it because certain people are volunteering to be delegates from one group?
Paying to be delegates.
People are not volunteering to be delegates from the other?
No. To answer the second part of your question first, volunteers from all of the various campaigns volunteered to be part of the delegation. What was selected, essentially on a 6-2 vote in the nominating committee down the line, was the delegation, as I outlined it, almost entirely made up of supporters of Congressman Paul.
And who was, can you tell me, like, how many people make the selection, and how do they...
It was 8 people.
How do they have that, how do they get to be the authority?
Okay. By the party rules, there is a nominating committee. And I will say this, the nominating committee did things by the legal process currently in place in the party. It is also legal by the rules of the party for you and all of us to make a different decision, both in Part A Friday night and Part B Saturday morning. Equally important, 13 delegates and alternates are elected on a statewide basis at the Saturday convention. A total of 12 are elected from the 4 districts, 3 respective to each, delegates and alternates on Friday. So virtually equally important. If we carry the state this time, by the way, for the presidential candidate, you're awarded 10 bonus delegates. But we did not carry it in the last election, so there are 13 on the statewide ballot this time. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just, 8 people elect, well, 8 people.
Yes, sir.
Quickly, why did Congressman Paul's people outgame the other people?
Outgame?
I can't speak for them. What I can tell you is that they got that 6-vote majority by electing at the district conventions their supporters by essentially a 6-2 margin on the nominating committee. So it's always good to ask, as you elect officials to these various committees, where they stand on things. Okay, I think there was another question. Yes, sir. Oh, wait, over here first. I'm sorry.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I've been voting for 20 years for presidential candidates, and if the people of this party can't get behind the one candidate that the young people are for, I won't be participating or voting ever again.
I'm a young person, I'm not for Ron Paul.
But I am, as a 40-year-old.
Now, we're all for you being for Congressman Paul, but that is not exclusive to everyone else's viewpoints.
I understand that.
Yeah. I think there was another question. Yes, sir.
You enlighten me because of my lack of knowledge. What's the ones that elected Friday night?
I'm done with this
Are
stuff.
they
I will
the
never
only
vote
ones
again.
that's up for the slate for Saturday?
No, 2 separate, distinct separate entities. Iowa will have a total of 25 delegates and 25 alternates. 12, 3 from each congressional district. 3 here, 3 from the 2nd, 3 from the 3rd district, and the 4th district will each be elected that night, as
join the
well as a
military,
corresponding number of alternates. Those are called congressional district delegates and alternates.
Join it.
And that has the same voting rights as the ones that are elected Saturday, but they're elected by a different means. On Saturday, 13 delegates and 13 alternates will be elected by the convention as a whole. The convention will either vote for the committee report of the nominating committee, and you know what I've spoken to that, or it will be amended or replaced by a vote of a unity delegation, for which everyone will know well in advance of the convention the various candidates that those people supported in the election.
Okay, so a total of how many? 25
total. 12 from the district, 12 from the state, and a corresponding number of alternates.
And how many electoral votes do we have in the state?
Iowa has 6. We have 1 for each congressional district, of which we now have 4, and we have 2 for the United States Senate delegation, for a total of 6. I believe I'm correct in those statistics.
So out of the 25 that are done, how do they come up with what their 6 votes are?
No, separate deal, but I'm glad you brought it up, sir. The night of the election, of the district caucus, you will elect an elector, and there'll be 1 from each congressional district. And a key question I would ask those running for the elector's position is, will you vote for the nominated candidate of your party if he carries the state? The elector only votes in
7 hours
case
we
of the
wasted on
candidate
platform
carrying
committee
the
talking
state.
about life issues,
The
and then
same
we pick up
pertains
for a
to
guy
2 that will be elected statewide, representing in effect the 2 senators that Iowa has. And again, a key question in there is, if we carry the state with our party, will you commit to voting for that candidate in the electoral college?
You're talking about precincts, you're talking about the primaries and stuff.
If you don't mind, Bob, can you sit around that?
Yeah.
Let Bob sit around that for me and get into some of the specifics. One question is,
How is the meeting on Friday?
That will come out in a bulletin from the state party, but I believe it will start approximately 6. Do you have it?
8 p.m. Friday, 2:15. Let's take the station.